Welcome to the Quickstart webinar. If you've never popped on one of these webinars before, what's up? My name's Noah Harris. You can call me Coach Noah. Welcome to the Quickstart webinar. So we do this webinar every single Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, like clockwork. What do we do? What do we talk about? What's the Quickstart all about? It's all about practice. On this call, we practice private money lending best practices, fundamentals. We stay sharp. We practice our craft, right? And whatever is the hot topic, we'll jump on it. Whatever I got going on in my real estate investing business that I feel like might be applicable to everyone that's on the call, then I'll share that too. So what's up and welcome. Little hiccup this morning on the call here. So this is the 88th edition of the PMC Quickstart webinar. 88. That's freaking incredible. It's almost been 88 weeks consecutive outside of like Christmas, maybe a couple 4th of Julys that we've been holding this webinar here. So I'm a little late, and I'm also wondering if the link wasn't like accurate or up to date. We usually have a few hundred, or not a few hundred, but usually anywhere from 80 to 120 people on the call here every single Thursday practicing. So it's just Fred. It's just me and you right now. This is very strange. So Fred, I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you going to the Money Tank event in Orlando this weekend for the Private Money Club? Do you have a virtual ticket, or are you going in person? Or is this just the first time you're hearing about it? So I think I was really excited for this call because my bags are packed. I'm ready to head to the airport right now, and we're gonna go down to Orlando, Florida, and attend the Money Tank event, which is a biannual event that PMC puts on. I heard about it last week. I'm busy. I get it. No big deal, right? But you are, I believe, from Florida. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I feel like you're from Inglewood. Is that right? Did I just make that up? Am I thinking of somebody else? Right. So we'll be in your neck of the woods. Oh, state of Michigan. All right. Maybe I'm just sending out the Florida vibes to you there, Fred. I got you mixed up with someone else. All right, cool. So here we go. So welcome. My goal for everybody that's on this call is the same that I have for my business and the people that I work with in this business, and that's to help create a 100% track record doing what you say you're going to do, whether you're a borrower or whether you're a lender. In this business, you can't afford too many hiccups. So our goal is to do things the right way from the start. And these are the things that we talk about in practice here on the calls here today. Private money lending, relationship based. Lots of times people, I feel like, struggle with the topic of private money because they don't really know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. And so they go to a bank, right? Ever since we've been little kids, we've taught that, hey, if we need something, we want to buy something, where do we go? We go to the store, right? And there's really no storefront for private money. It's like this is a relationship based business. So you got to get out there and meet people who like the idea of putting money to work, having it secured by real estate that's worth much more and making a nice interest rate while doing so. Or on the flip side, people who love the idea of using people instead of banks or hard money lending companies to fund real estate deals, right? And that's what the Private Money Club is all about. So what's up? Folks are finding us. What's up, Anna? What's up, Ernest? We need to get you guys a PMC t-shirt. We need to get you some swag. We need to get you something because you're showing commitment. By being here today, what does this tell me? This tells me that you had this on your calendar. You were dialed in. You were ready to go. And the link wasn't working. So you went back to last week's link because there was no email this week, right? Am I right? Is this a true story? And then now here you are today. Because why did this happen? Well, this is week 89. 89th time that we've done this webinar, and I have a feeling that when Shauna Decker set up the Quick Start webinar schedule, in her mind, she's like, I don't know how long this is going to go. I don't know how committed Noah's going to be to doing this every single week. I'm going to put something completely ridiculous out there, and I'm going to put this webinar on repeat for 88 times. It's never going to happen. We're never going to reach that number. And sure enough, here we are. So that's awesome. Let's see. I got a couple little action here in the chat. I do need a $1.5 million loan to purchase a campground. I did not mention that last week. Cool, man. Well, Fred, did you get your Private Money Club profile? Like, did you get that set up yet? Right? And what does your plan look like? Have you put together the business plan for the campground? Things like this. These are the things that I would start with. We'll talk about them here today. So if you're just hopping on for the first time, you're like, I'm not really sure what I should be working on or doing. I'll give you some guidance and some advice. And also, but this is a special webinar. I'm going to go through kind of what to expect this weekend. And while I go through what to expect this weekend at the Money Tank event in Orlando, some of you might be going in person, some of you might be attending virtually. And if you're not going, that's okay. Maybe you can learn something too, some different options that are out there and people within the Private Money Club community that you could connect with, which is awesome. Yeah. No, not yet. Fell through. All right, Fred, get the profile up there. Right, that's step number one. I do have 500 to lend out as needed, but the campground to buy the campground, but the deal fell through. Okay, I got you. I got you. Keeping engaged with the group keeps you motivated. Amen, Anna. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. So anytime that I'm on these webinars, anytime I'm teaching a class or speaking from a stage or anything, even just sitting down at the kitchen table or a Starbucks with a potential lender, one of the things that we love to talk about is how risky this business is. I really do enjoy making this sound difficult because it is. I'm someone who teaches from experience. I've seen a lot of things out there in the world go sideways with private money loans, with borrowing money, real estate investors who they try to buy houses before they look to educate themselves and they kind of get themselves in trouble. So I'm teaching today from a real estate investor's perspective. I'm not an accountant, a financial advisor, an attorney, a general contractor, a real estate agent, or anything of the sorts. However, the very first thing that I recommend everyone do before you start asking for funding is to go out and get those types of people on your team, right? Real estate is a team sport. So before you get in the game, you got to pick your teammates. You got to draft your team, right? Who's your real estate attorney that's going to handle the closings? Who's the real estate agent that's going to help you evaluate the marketplace? Who's the contractor that's going to be doing the work, right? If Fred's looking at buying a campground, okay, great. Fred, where did you learn this business from? Who's guiding you through this process, right? These are things that I would take the time to figure out. And if you've already taken the time to figure them out, then these are the things that I would showcase when you get your deal posted in the Private Money Club. Now I know that deal didn't work out, didn't fall through, but if you do it again, right, these are some things that you might be able to do to really help you prepare and get people interested in what you got going on, right? Now, not a lot of people on the call today because I don't think the link went out, but that's okay. My MVPs, the VIPs are here, guys. When you think of private money lending, what do you think of? In regards, when you hear the term private lender, when you hear the term private lender, what do you think of? This is really important as we walk into the Money Tank event this weekend. We're going to be meeting, 100 new people, and every single person that Christy and I meet at that Money Tank event, whether it's virtually or in person, in our eyes is a potential private money lender for our business. You're either a private, in my mind, it's either you're a private money lender today or a private money lender in the future. You're gonna leave the experience of when you meet Christy or I, like this is my mindset, feeling good about who we are as business people. And if you are new to private money lending, I'm gonna leave you thinking, dang, that sounds pretty cool. And it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, but eventually we're gonna, whenever that person is ready, or if they ever want to reach out to us, we've planted the seed, right? It's all about people, right? Big believer in people. I'll tell you a funny story. When my wife and I were flying to the Philippines on a vacation, I proposed to my wife in the Philippines. She's not Filipino, but we always wanted to go there. We were on an airplane. I'll tell you this story because I'm about to get on an airplane. And it was really funny. Christy's always looking for people that could potentially be partners and private money lenders with us. And I remember we were on this rickety plane going from Manila to a small island called El Nido in the Palawan Islands. And we were on this like Indiana Jones type of airplane. You know what I'm talking about, where there might as well be chicken crates and like the propellers are spinning and you can't hear anything that's happening. And there's probably maybe five or six other people on the same plane with us going to this really exclusive resort. And parts of the airplane are kind of like falling down because it's rattling so much. The pilots put up like a sunshade so they couldn't really see where they were going because the sun was shining in. It was just not ideal. And I remember just gripping the chair in the plane, white knuckle, super nervous. I just wanted to touch down. I got the ring in my pocket, and I can see my wife. She's talking to this couple across the aisle from us on this airplane that I'm thinking might be my last flight. And I can hear her. I can't really hear too much because it's so loud, but I can hear her yelling, "What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?" Right? And I can't hear what he's saying, and she yells over in my ear, "He's a doctor. This guy's a doctor." And I just remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, this plane's about to crash. I'm about to ask her to marry me, and here she is trying to find another private money lender for our business." All right. So when I say private money lenders are everywhere, as long as there's people, we always believe that we can help folks, right? And I think that's what it comes down to too. If you're a borrower, having that mentality that you have the ability to always help people in your real estate business, if you believe in yourself, you believe in your projects and things like this, then it makes it a whole lot easier. You never feel like you're begging. You never feel like you're on your hands and knees. Oh, I need this money to do this deal. And it never feels like that, right? Because we truly believe in what we're doing, which is awesome. So, well, it's a funny story there. We'll see. I'll let you know next week who sits next to us on the airplane, but I'm sure they're going to hear my wife's elevator pitch if there is someone next to us. All right. So here, find your people. This is it. Let me pull this up here. I'm actually going to pull this up, do something a little bit different. I'm going to pull up the agenda for this weekend. And maybe there's some things that are applicable for everyone that's on this call. So if you don't have a private money lending, excuse me, a private money club money tank ticket yet, and I'm not really here to sell the tickets, but like if you've ever been on these calls before, you know that on these calls I just talk about what's going on in our real estate investing business, and this is a big part of it. This is what we're doing this weekend. So I'll show you the website here. And I will put it in the chat box because I don't even have my right hand man. I don't have my co-pilot on today's call from Private Money Club. Cool. If you want to check it out yourself, there's the link. But this is what's happening within the Private Money Club community this weekend down in Orlando, Florida, a flagship event called the Money Tank event. There are virtual tickets available. Anna, are you going? Are you going to Money Tank? I feel like you might be going to Money Tank. There's a virtual admission for 97 bucks too. So you can tune in, you get all the recordings and things like this. You can get a virtual ticket. And they do have people, speakers and things like that, that when they're not on stage, they're in the virtual room as well with you guys. So we do try to make it fun and as interactive as possible. And people seem to really, really like it. But it's down here in Universal Studios. Hey, I know that guy. Somewhere on YouTube, there's 87 videos of us teaching private money on these quick start webinars. You could find them by just going here and clicking on those videos. I'm sure that's kind of creepy, but here's the lineup. All right, so I'm going to be teaching on. I love how they said human capital here, but I am going to be teaching on the topic of. Let me pull it. Actually, I'll pull it up. Of like this disconnect here, right? So on these calls here with quick start, I'll run through this with you guys real quick. I'm gonna show you. So like every single week, there's new people to Private Money Club. So I always try to like say, hey, if I were you, if you had a deal, this is what I would do, right? And these are some of the steps, right? Like how do you maximize PMC? Well, if you have a project right now, there's lenders on Private Money Club who are hungry for deals. Okay, so what I need you to do, or what you're gonna want to do, is go out there. I'm gonna flip through these slides pretty quick and create a profile. You can go to privatemoneyclub.com. I'll show you right here. Privatemoneyclub.com. Click login. If you don't have a profile yet, you can create a profile on PMC for free. You can create a profile for free. So if you don't have one yet, I think you can post one deal inside of Private Money Club for free. There are some limitations. Now, there is a premier membership as well. There's some benefits, some bells and whistles. You can post more deals. You can have better messaging capabilities when connecting with people inside Money Tank. There's education, things like this that you can take if you're a premier member, classes and so on. But if you're a brand new and watching this for the first time, I'd cruise over to privatemoneyclub.com. There's people in there, people like Anna that are hungry for deals, and we need more good borrowers here inside of PMC. Okay, so and this is what it looks like when you hop in. This is kind of like the lobby as they call it. It has like a nice like sleek social media type of vibe where if you have deals and you need funding, perfect. Like I would start here by posting your deal here. This is a project I want to celebrate my friend Jen Pertel. She just posted here that this project that she posted on PMC got funded. Fantastic. And I know Jen probably reached out to you. I saw you guys connecting on here. And she was able to, she had one private money lender from past projects, and then another private money lender who was new to Private Money Club and was a Private Money Club member and connected and she got the deal done. Which so shout out to Jen if you're watching the recording. Fantastic job. Super proud of you. But this is what I would do. This is what this website is all about and what this platform helps people do. Okay. So number one, got to get your profile, got to get got to get yourself in the game. Number two, post the deal. So I would post the deal in two spots. Let me flip back and forth here. I'll show you. I would post it here, just like Jen did, and you see these other people posting opportunities here. By the way, if anyone's doing wholesale deals, this gentleman here, his name's Troy. Troy is actually taking one of my classes right now in Private Money Club called the Accelerator class, and Troy is interested in funding transactional funding deals. So like if you have a wholesale deal instead of doing like a contract assignment or something like that, he wants to help you buy it, which I think is actually way more beneficial and has a lot more upswing than trying to do the contract assignments. This is the type of lending that Troy is looking to do. So if you're on the call or watching the replay, go connect with Troy Weierstrass. Sorry, Troy, I didn't mean to murder your name there. Weierstrass. And he can and see what you got. See what you got for all my wholesalers out there looking for stuff. So I would post here and then I'd come over to the deal section. Deal section here. It's super simple, super easy to post your deals. You can look at other people, see what they got going on. If I was a lender on this call, I'd be checking this weekly. And I'm not saying that, you definitely need, Greg posts a deal. So, I'm not telling you to go fund it. What I am telling you though is would it be worth having a conversation with Greg to hear about his business and to learn about him as an investor and then add him to your borrowers list, right? To see and get on his list, his lender's list, right? So you guys can network, and if there's ever a deal that makes sense and you like talking with him and he seems like he's got it together and all the underwriting checks out, then maybe we move forward, right? But let's start having conversations and relationships, build relationships with people, and this is how we do it. If you have a deal, you cruise over to post deal, you put the address right in here, it'll pop up, verify that it's a real address, and then you just fill out the basics and the information about your deal. And in less than 2 minutes, guys, your deal is posted on privatemoneyclub.com. That's freaking cool. Really cool. Now, if you're hopping on for the first time and you're like Fred and you're on for the second time, but you didn't do your profile yet, go privatemoneyclub.com, create your profile, and here I'll give you some tips. This is mine. Go find me, friend me, I'll friend you back. But look, I got this little premiere sticker here next to my name that shows that I am a paid member. I'm not a I'm not a free member. I'm a paid member. I got a little, investment involved in this, maybe taking it a little bit more serious, right? I am a certified lender within PMC. What does that mean? It just means I took a course inside of Private Money Club to get that badge. It shows that I spent some time educating myself. Certified lender and certified borrower courses are included and a part of PMC. And you can take those by coming over here, clicking on courses and finding them in the course section that you can take. But let's go back to the profile here. I would make sure that you have a picture. Make sure you got a picture of yourself, right? Whatever the vibe is, you can kind of see what the aura is here with me and my family run business. Over here, you've got the billboard, these little photos. I like to use these as billboards, highlighting my team, highlighting my projects, some of our past projects. This is my wife here, Christy, on the right, our agent, La Rosa, there, and then one of our partners on this deal behind us named Erica, we've been friends with for a long time. Now, inside of our profile here, it's going to say, hey, what's your bio? It's going to want to know information about you. This is a place where I would put obviously information about you, but then I'd also maybe put like what your business model is, what types of properties you focus on. Do you have a niche, right? Do you have a background in something other than real estate? Like what? Tell us about yourself, right? How do you protect your lenders? Do you provide a mortgage, promissory note, things like this? And if you're like, man, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Well, let's learn about this. Let's learn about this. Just like a bank asks for the borrowers to sign a mortgage or in a promissory note, and they want you to go get insurance, we're going to do the same thing as lenders. And as borrowers, we're going to help provide those things and make sure those things are in place for our lenders. What makes private money lending so great? Well, if I lend, $50,000 on this deal here that Craig has, I'm expecting that the collateral that that I'm going to have is worth way more than 50 grand, right? Properly done, how I believe Private Money Club borrowers and lenders should be operating is, hey, you got a deal just like the bank. I'm going to give you a mortgage, a promissory note. It's going to be done by real estate attorneys, title companies. Everything's going to get recorded. If I don't pay it back, you get the house, right? You can start the foreclosure process, right? That's what makes this so nice, right? You lend here, assets worth up here, right? That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. All right, cool. Yes, we connected. I think I gave her the idea to look for multiple lenders. Yeah, she did end up using two different people, which is super cool. Anna, yeah, so it's nice, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. I love it. I love it. All right, cool. So what else we got to do here, right? I would also present your opportunities. So as you have deals or as you're looking for deals every single Monday, PMC does a webinar. It's called the Money Club Monday webinar hosted by Stephen Nagy, where you can share, present your opportunities, right? Down this weekend, down in Orlando, we're on Saturday. There's going to be kind of like a Shark Tank vibe where investors are getting on stage and they're presenting their opportunities in front of the group. It's going to be pretty cool. So there's lots of different ways where you can be known, people can meet you, but you got to get out there and leverage some of these resources that this team has put together for you. I'm never going to ask you to do something I'm not willing to do myself. So as I have deals, I put them on Private Money Club. I go on the webinars. I present on Money Club Mondays, like as an example here, right, with Stephen Nagy. So you got to present the deal. Now, the other thing that I would recommend that everybody does is participate. All right. I love how Anna said earlier on the call, she said, keeping engaged with the group keeps you motivated. Yeah, you got to participate. But what's cool is I know Anna now, right? Anna's taken classes. Anna has been on these calls. She's on the third Thursday campfire chats and things like this within the private money club that they do, right? So it is not just what you know, but who you know. I'd even go as far as saying who knows you, right? So you got to get engaged. If you haven't done so, you want to attend the Money Tank, but you're like, man, no, it starts tomorrow. Hop on the virtual. It's recorded. You can get access to the recordings. But there's lots of different things that a person can do to participate within the private money club. All right. There's lots of classes. There's lots of masterminds that we do in person, over Zoom call, right? Stay active with this. A couple classes that are coming up that a person could take. Christy, my wife, is teaching a mobile home investing course that is going to be starting November 17th. So if you're into manufactured homes, mobile home parks, this is a 4 weeks, twice a week class that Christy teaches, and the next one's going to be starting November 17th, so just a few weeks away, which is awesome. I teach a class for Private Money Club twice a week for 4 weeks, coaching to follow to help if anybody has any questions afterwards and wants me to review deals and things like this. And we call it the Accelerator Program. Why is it called the Accelerator Program? Everything that I just shared with you guys here, I'll just share. I'll kind of talk a little bit about what I'm gonna be teaching this weekend in Orlando. I'll pull it up. You know, the Accelerator Program. There's so much to learn, but maybe a person doesn't have the patience or maybe they just want to learn it quicker, right? As opposed to having it dripped out on these weekly calls. The Accelerator call helps people build elevator pitches. It helps you build your slide decks. It helps you build your credibility. Helps you build your knowledge base in a much faster way than just trying to go through and read the periodicals and things like this, right? So there's something to be said for the coaching. Now, if you're interested in any of these things here, PMC team member, they're easy to reach out. You can hop on privatemoneyclub.com, click on the links, and find all the information that you would want and need to learn how to enroll in the class. Let me share with you some of the things I'm going to be hitting on this weekend. Give you a little sneak peek. I got 15 more minutes before I got to hop in the car to head to the airport here. So I'm going to see what I can do for you guys, right? So we just went over profile, right? You got to create your profile on the Private Money Club. You definitely want to be active. You definitely want to post, presenting as, take advantage of all of these things, participate in the classes, courses, networking opportunities. And you'll see down there number 5, repeat. So if you have a deal, which I hope you guys do, I hope eventually you have funding, you have a deal, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to leverage the platform. What I'll tell you is this: consistency is so key. So about 5 minutes ago, I shared with you a post that my friend Jennifer Pertel put in Private Money Club. Hey, our deal got funded. Here's how it went down. Great. I'll tell you why it probably did is because she was consistent. She was consistent with her messaging, and she didn't just post once, right? She was active. She was on the webinars, right? She was building the relationships. And the best time to have a lender lined up or a borrower lined up is before you need them. Okay. And so she did a really good job of ramping it up And Jen's taking the classes. Jen's on the webinars. She's doing what she needs to do. So if you feel like, hey, no, I posted a deal, it hasn't been funded yet. I'm never going to guarantee that something's going to get funded just because you post on Private Money Club. I don't know you. I don't know the deal, right? I don't know how consistent you are. I don't know anything about your team. But what I will tell you is that those who are consistent and repeat and don't give up, and there's going to be people that are interested, right? You're going to have good conversations. And those steps are necessary. Those steps, this is a visual that the lesson here is this. It's not just in the steps, but I'm curious if we do all of these things, right? I know there's like 95% less people on this call than we normally have. But but let me just ask you in the chat box, those of you that can participate and are able to, what do you think the trophy represents? This weekend, when we go to Orlando, my goal is to leave with a bunch of trophies. What do you think the trophy represents, though? Because sometimes I think people are under the impression that the trophy represents a deal. Okay, the more your name is visible, the better. Yeah, connections. Yeah, Anna, you're right, Anna. It's interest. It's interest, right? We do all of this legwork to attract the lenders and to start the process, right? Now, this is a relationship based business. So don't give up after step 5. There's things that we want to consistently work on after step 5. Step 5, these 5 steps just get us people calling us. Okay? And I feel like there's kind of this disconnect here. And if you've taken the accelerator class, you may not feel the disconnect as much, right? You're probably feeling pretty good about stuff, right? Because what we do in that class is we actually say, okay, what's next? What do we need to work on to get the deal closed, right? So I see a lot of people inside of Private Money Club who, they have the trophy, they have interest, but then when someone messages them or when someone calls them or when they're talking to people face to face, they just don't know how to put it all together, right? You in your heart of hearts might know, hey, this is a deal, but do you really know how to articulate it and communicate and present and for lack of a better word, sell your deal to someone else, right? And what that process looks like. So some of the things that I'm going to be teaching this weekend, and I obviously got about 5 minutes. I can't get through everything right now, but I'll give you some ideas, and maybe we can talk about these over the next couple of weeks on the quick start calls. But anyone in the accelerator class, I teach this very thoroughly. But number one, you got to start thinking about like, if you want to build that bridge and close the gap from interest to actually getting the deal done, let's think about what our business plans are. Do you actually have a business plan? I was thinking this in the kitchen this morning when I was cooking some waffles. I was like, it's crazy to me how people don't have business plans for their real estate investing business. It's like they think they just buy the house and it's crazy. But like if you talk to someone that's like, oh, I'm going to open up a kayak rental, a coffee stand, I'm going to open up a chiropractic office or whatever. They probably spent the time putting together an extensive business plan before going and asking for funding or for investors, right? So why aren't real estate investors taking the time to do this? So what does that look like? Well, it's your team. Have you taken the time to build out who your players are going to be on your team? Have you taken the time to figure out what your niche is going to be? Have you taken the time to figure out what your numbers are typically going to look like when you're buying houses? What's your target market for your buyers? What's your target market for your sellers? Right? So this is important. These are things that I would encourage you guys to work on to help you be successful with it, leveraging this platform. And the other thing is the elevator. Some people call it the elevator pitch. I hate the word pitch. And while I do think it is important for a person to be able to articulate and communicate what it is that they do that leaves someone intrigued, wanting to learn more, and being able to do that in 30 seconds or less, right? I suppose that's what an elevator pitch is. I believe in that sometimes those elevator moments can be 30 seconds. Sometimes they're 3 years. And I like to take people on rides. And if I get in an elevator and we're going up together, I'm not the one pushing the button. I want the other person pushing the button. Right? So having a good elevator pitch that doesn't seem like you're just vomiting something at someone. Doesn't seem like you're just throwing something against the wall to see if they're interested. Right? I like taking people on a ride. I like taking people on a story. And sometimes I can do that in 30 seconds. But if a person's not ready to go to the next floor to learn about next steps and things like this, then it's simply we take our time, right? More on this in Accelerator, more on this at the Money Tank. I'll give you some advice and different things that you can do to really separate yourself from someone who's maybe throwing the heat and someone that's actually like listening, asking good questions, and doing elevator pitches that actually get results. Anytime that we're doing an elevator pitch, um, we have to remember that the goal is not to get the money. This weekend, when I'm meeting people, networking, and things like this, it's never about a dollar amount. It's about a relationship. It's about setting up a meeting. So the only thing that we need to be worrying about when we're doing these elevator pitches or taking them on these elevator rides, as I call them, is the next step. And the next step is conducting a one-on-one meeting, right? So if whether you're messaging somebody on Private Money Club or shaking their hand for the first time in Orlando, the end goal before going into that conversation for you is, hey, can I set up a meeting with this person next week to do this proper, right? To learn about what their goals are, to learn about what their lending criteria is, what they look for in a borrower, right? To see if we can help one another and do this right, right? The next step is always the meeting. Okay. Is this good stuff? Is this kind of off the cuff? Not really planned, but I just figure, hey, these are the things. This is great practice because I'm talking on this tomorrow, so it's cool. Like we kind of talk about this now. It just good practice, right? Curating the experience, curating the experience. Oh, Teresa or Therese, say what's up? How you doing? All right, cool. Yeah, and then the other thing here, I'm gonna highlight. I got a slide here that I'm gonna share with you guys, and I always share this at the end of all of our quick start webinars as well. But I'm gonna come back to that one, and I just want to hit curating the experience first. What takes a person, because there is so much more than just posting the deal and someone messaging you, right? How do you actually convert that into a relationship that lasts for the next 10 years? I feel like you don't have to go out and find 15 different private money lenders if you just find 4 or 5 who want to keep doing business with you. So, what are you doing to go above and beyond to curate the experience, as I call it, right? How are you communicating with this lender, if you're the borrower, on the progress of the project? Are in that one-on-one meeting, are you listening for what's important to the lender? Like if a lender says, "Hey, what's really important to me is the scopes of work," and maybe they've got like the engineer type of mind, and the construction is something that they really like about real estate. Well, during the course of our loan, I'm going to be going above and beyond to sharing with them some of the really cool before and afters. I'm going to be sharing with them, some of the construction benchmarks that we're hitting along the way and sharing with them scopes of work, right? If I'm talking to someone and it seems like they have more of an artist mind and they love the idea of the befores and afters, well, I'm going to share with them photos. I'm going to share with them, here's the tile that's going in the backsplash. Here's the staging theme that we're going to be doing that our stager recommended, right? And so it's going to be different things. Like I want them to feel a part of the project because they are, and I want them to not to really set the experience, right? We're about to go to Disney World and we're in Universal Studios. A lot of those places, what do? It's an experience. When you walk into the hotel, they're like, man, I want to come back here. This was amazing. That's what we want for our lenders too, right? So these are some things to just to start thinking about. After you close a deal with your lender, do you send them something? Do you send them a gift? Do you send them, flowers? Do you send them, a present? Like at least a thank you card, right? Like, what do you do to get people wanting to work with you again? Okay. And then the deal underwriting process, I'm going to go through this with you pretty quick here, but I'm going to ask that maybe if you've never seen this before. All right. So this, I would take a snapshot of this picture with your phone. This is just what I would consider non-negotiables. All right. And so when it comes to underwriting, lenders, you are your underwriter, right? You make the decisions of I'm going to fund this deal or not, right? So if you've never done this before, there's certain things that you're going to want to see to help you make the decision, to make a confident decision of yes or no. And for borrowers, our job, if we want to, curate the experience, is to make it easy for lenders to say yes. So how do we do that? So in the top section there, that's a list of things that I provide to all of my lenders the moment that they're interested in my deals. So if I post a deal on Private Money Club, I already have a Google Drive folder or some sort of system where I can send everything on that list over to the lender, and it allows them to be able to look through it and say, wow, this person's really organized. They've done their homework. This looks like a good deal, right? If this is any sign of what it's going to be looking like to work with them in the future, I'm interested. I want to learn more, right? So that's the first step. Everything in that first section there, that's deal related. And then once someone says, hey, you know what? I think I want to work with you. Great. Now we have to underwrite the borrower, the person that you're talking to. So how do we do that? Those things there, experience worksheet. We may want to ask for a personal financial statement to see that they do have some cash on hand to help get them through the rehab and make their monthly interest payments to us, and things like this. Make sure we're not setting them up for success to fail, right? We want to see if we're lending to an LLC. We want to see their LLC docs to make sure that they are a part of that company and that they can act on behalf of that company. Referrals. If you've never worked with someone before, my goodness, the power of a referral, right? If you can, by the way, you can ask people up front, hey, have you ever used a private lender before? Yeah, lots of times. Okay, great. Tell me a little bit about your business. Well, right now we have three fix and flips. We own 10 rental units. Last year we flipped 5 houses. Wow, that's fantastic. Well, after you talk to them, then I'm going to ask for an experience worksheet. I'm going to ask for the addresses and how much they bought it for, how much they sold it for, how long they had it. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check that what they told me verbally is the truth, right? And you can do that with an experience worksheet. By the way, everything that's on this list here is not anything crazy to ask for. Everything that's on this list here, hard money lending companies would ask for this. Banks would ask for these things, right? This is nothing that you feel someone should be like, oh, well, if you're asking for my experience worksheet, then I'll just go to a hard money lender. Then they're gonna ask for it too, right? You're not asking for anything crazy, okay? Inside of Private Money Club, PMC has something called the perfect loan proposal, which is a good start for a business plan if you don't have one yet, where you can take the template, fill in your information about your company, what you specialize in, how you protect lenders, what private money lending is. This is a template that PMC has in the resources section if you're a Private Money Club member. And then moving forward, there's certain things that we need. What makes private money lending great for lenders? Well, it's the collateral. If you lend here and the property is worth this and the person doesn't pay you, great, we foreclose, right? You get an asset that's worth way more than your loan amount. But if you don't have the mortgage or or the deed of trust, then you can't do those things. So the mortgage, deed of trust, promissory note, we're going to get insurance. We're going to personally guarantee the loan if we're lending. If we're it's our LLC that's going to be the borrower. I'm also going to personally guarantee that. That's how we do it. And I'm going to make sure that there's title insurance for the lender as well. Okay, so these things right here. Now you can choose how you want to do business. There might be some things that I'm missing that maybe you do. I'd love to hear. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't do less than this. And if you are doing anything less than this, what's on this list here, there better be a darn good reason for that, right? And because I look at everything that's on this list here, if I'm borrowing, or if I'm going to be a lender, I want everything done because this is like your armor, and these are all pieces of armor, and the fewer that you have, the less armor you're wearing, right? The more exposed you are. Okay, so this is really important. This is why I share this every single week on these calls. And if you're like, man, I don't even know what some of these things are, I would encourage you before you even ever dive into lending or borrowing other people's money that you get some education. Okay, and if you go to privatemoneyclub.com, there's lots of things that you can do, people you can learn from, courses you can take. So go check it out. All right, good stuff. Any questions? Any questions? I know I went through that super quick, but like I said, we're just touching base here. We do this every single Thursday, 1 o'clock. We hop on here and we practice, and we stay sharp. And so if you're like me and you value that, man, I'll see you next week. Next week is the 90th time that we've done this almost in a row. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off. This has been a great little class. Thanks for tuning in and being here, and thank you for the dedication of digging through your emails to find the link. I know what you did. I know what it takes. What it takes to win never changes, and you guys all proved that here today. Everyone that's on this call, so fantastic job. I will see you next week, and those of you heading out to Orlando, I will see you in Orlando. All right, take care.